Mic check, mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2 1 2. What's good, gorgeous? How are you today, Marissa? Welcome in, everybody. Greetings, salutations, happy Tuesday. Where are you tuning in from? What's good? What you grateful for? It is Tuesday, thinking about doing Tarot Tuesday tonight. It's been a good day. Productive, mellow, a very beautiful balance. Thank you for asking. Thinking about doing Tarot Tuesday, thinking about doing personal readings. I'm getting this energy of this, a strong yearning for personal readings tonight. I mean, of course we can do both. I was thinking about doing a poll. What's up, Firestarter? How's your day so far? I mean, honestly, why not? I'd love to do Tarot Tuesday. If you don't know what that is, that's where we read all 12 houses for the astrology calendar, starting with Aries, making our way to Pisces. 12 general collective readings for anybody and everybody who wishes to receive. Typically, Tuesday evenings is how we share the live stream. Crazy day. Always fun. If you can hear me clearly, would you mind clicking the screen a couple times just so I know that the microphone's working on your side? Mic check, mic check. How we doing? What are you grateful for? Where are you tuning in from? What's good? What's good? What's good? If it's your first time here, welcome in. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Zen. Gavin, super stoked to get started. We're going to be playing with the cards today. Heck yeah, Jen. As am I. Yeah, let's do this. We'll be reading for all 12 houses of the astrology calendar, starting with Aries, making our way to Pisces. We'll begin in just a moment. We'll let our dudes jump into the room. Do we have any Aries in the house? Any Aries sun, moon, ascendants? Do you know where your Mars placement is? Welcome in, and good day. Aries is the ruler of house number 1. House number 1 is all about our identity, beginnings, initialization, taking action. Cat has an Aries moon. Nada. Bear has an Aries moon too. Aries Sydney. Take the notes, good stuff. Welcome from Tennessee. Greetings everybody, good day. I'm excited to get started. I feel like these cards are ready to play. If y'all are ready for these readings tonight, would you mind go ahead and dropping me the ram emoji down there? Just so I know that you're ready for Aries, house number 1. Everybody has at least one placement of Aries where your house is regarding, depending on your rising sign will tell you where Aries falls into your house structure. You might not have any planets there, but for me it's 6th house. I see you down here. I see you down here with the Rams. Epic indeed. Groovy. Let's do this. Let's do this. Welcome in. Happy Tarot Tuesday. Aries gang, let's do this. For the flame. Any messages? We are here for this. We are stoked to get started tonight. Any messages for the collective? Clarity, guidance, words of wisdom. Beginning with Aries, house number 1, sun, moon, ascendants, where we have Mars placement, wherever your first house is for you this evening, my friends. For the collective, we cut the deck, we clear it, we let it rest. We draw 2 cards at the top of the deck. We flip the deck upside down to share the root where this message stems from today, and we shuffle here. The Thoth Tarot. We got 2 decks on the table, the Zen Osho Tarot, as well as the Thoth Tarot. 2 epic cards. Very beautiful, very colorful decks. I'm excited to see. The message is already extremely prominent. To begin, let's do this. Aries, my friends, welcome in, welcome in. Good day, good day, good day. Yes, right now we have, first and foremost, creativity in the draw for Aries, house number 1. Creativity here. Reverse, we have guilt. Guilt. In the draw, we have the Fool here, right side up in the root. A perfect card for house number 1. Beginnings, initiation. The Fool represents the same. In the Thoth Tarot, we have Lord of Debauchery, Debauch, 7 of Cups here. a very clear message, a very fun and playful message. I feel like somebody who isn't necessarily as optimistic as me could see these cards and be afraid because of the guilt and the debauch card. But I find like this is actually a really important encouragement message with the creativity and the Fool right side up, reminding us of the importance of doing new things and basically like allowing ourselves to show up unhinged and to make mistakes. I'm gonna let my dog out of the room really quickly because she wants to go outside, but I'm gonna keep standing for them. See, Aries is all about beginnings. Aries is like initiation, and usually when you start something, you're not the best at it. This is like that energy of sucking at something is the first step at getting good at something. With the debauch and the guilt card here, like you're not here to feel guilty for yourself for not being the best when you first start something. Obviously, it's going to take your time. It's going to take some time for yourself to acclimate to the new space, to get the hang of what it is that you're doing now. So it's going to get messy at first, but this is where Mrs. Frizzle is one of my favorite teachers, reminding us to get messy and make mistakes, where there's no guilt or shame in that. It's one of our best ways to learn. Climbing the cringe mountain, I love it. Yes, exactly. Embrace the cringe. This is what it's really all about, because this is where some of our greatest growth can occur, because life begins at the end of our comfort zone, and the cringe is the end of the comfort zone. And this is where we are being called to step into our creativity, regardless of how cringe you may feel. I know it's fucking nerve-wracking to put yourself out there, to show up and to tune in to your gifts, but it's so empowering when you start to get the hang of it. And this is what the Fool does. He leads with love in his heart, not giving a butt about how other people might perceive him, just does what feels good to him, leads with faith, one step at a time. And this is what we're being called to do, because we're being called to be the creators of our reality, step into our roles as creators and express and strengthen, fine-tune our creativity. Ultimately, guilt and shame and fear, worry are only going to be blocks and challenges along the journey. This is where it's so important to embrace the mess and allow yourself to actually make some mistakes, really big time. Yeah, shout out Jake the dog, shout out Miss Frizzle. Like, I'm gonna say it once again, sucking at something is the first step at getting good at something. Jake the dog, number 1. Mrs. Frizzle, get messy, make mistakes. Number 2, two of the best ways in which we can learn, and that's what we're here to do in this life. Aries, I wish you the utmost journeys. House number 1, super stoked to get started this evening. We're gonna keep this energy flowing. What a great beginning. I wish you the utmost fun in your creation. Let's keep this energy moving. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you, beautiful beings. Today we are flowing forward to house number 2. If you like that Aries message, go ahead and drop me a 1 down there in the comments, or any Aries related emojis. We're gonna keep this energy flowing with Taurus, house number 2. Do we have any Taurus in the house tonight? Sun, moon, ascendants, wherever you have a Venus placement. Second house is ruled by Taurus. Second house represents our values, our beliefs, what we hold near and dear to our core. Yes. Well, you can catch the recording tomorrow, and if you'd like to see the Aries reading, that will be live on my YouTube tomorrow. It looks like we get a card jumping right off the top. We're going to play with that one for Taurus. We're going to keep shuffling. Taurus and Mars, Taurus moon. I see you, my dudes. Yes, the recording of this live stream will be up on my YouTube tomorrow. So, if that is something you'd like to check in, if you don't have the time to stick around the entire night, or maybe you're getting here late, you can catch the recording tomorrow at Gavin the Body is my YouTube, the same name as my TikTok, yes. Alright, cards, any words for Taurus, house number 2, our values, checking in, flowing forward for Tarot Tuesday. Tarot Tuesday. We cut the deck, we clear it, we let it rest. We're going to draw 2 from the top. We flip the deck upside down. Yes, thus is life. The cards just being very general, very real, but reminding us a very important message here on the table. First, we have the 9 here. Sorrow card for the collective. 9 of Swords. Taurus, we also have celebration. Celebration here. Right side up in the draw. And in the reverse in the root, we have moment to moment here for you. 2 of Wands. Moment to moment. Reverse. Princess of Wands makes an appearance as we were shuffling. Right off the top of the deck, jumps in for the collective. Princess of Wands. Here. Welcome in if you're just now getting here. Good to see you if you've been here before. For Taurus, house number 2, this is very much just reminding ourselves of the ebbs and the flows of life itself. Alongside sorrow and celebration, they go hand in hand. Where there is celebration, there is sorrow. Where there is sorrow, there is celebration. Where there is death, there is both. In every single moment, we're oscillating between the two. Life is a sine wave, and when we can stay focused in our seat, in our power, this is where the Princess of Wands is a very strong anchor card in this, holding the energy of stepping deeper into our inspiration, this fire within our heart, taking responsibility for how we utilize this energy and how we create our reality from this sense of inspiration. They're very much getting this energy of calling upon inspired action. Also receiving like just very specific intuitive download right now of taking recognition of one's gland, like adrenal glands. Yeah, like I'm getting like a dopamine burnout and adrenal gland energy, like just like how it's so important for us to take breaks from things like the screen or processed foods or just things that are just like coping mechanisms, because that depletes our body's ability to naturally like vivify and boost itself and its dopamine production and all the good chemicals, all that stuff. I'm not super scientific, but for some reason I'm feeling called to speak that into the space right now of how like it is work. And every single moment that we choose to do this work, we start to rewire our nervous system. We start to reclaim our sovereignty. We're not outsourcing our health and our wellness onto others, but instead we're taking responsibility and we're doing what we can to step into our life, because ultimately every cell within your body is celebrating your being. And that's a very big point of this. Every big cell within your being is celebrating your being, but when we're stuck in a mental state of sorrow, it's really difficult to celebrate. And this is where everything is mental at the end of the day, and it's so important to ask ourselves, where are we placing our awareness? Where are we placing our flame, our wands energy? Where am I placing my focus? Because where your focus goes, your energy flows. Where you stare is where you steer. And if you're focusing on the sorrow, this is where you're going to move towards, or if you're focusing on the celebration, this is what you're going to move towards as well. Ultimately though, I'm not saying run away from the sorrow. I'm not saying bypass it. Sometimes, in fact most of the time, the only way out is through, so it's so important that we look into it and we dive deeper into it, and then on the other side we see the light, that celebration, to celebrate you diving through this sorrow. Moment to moment, every single breath, seeing every instant as a stepping stone, a portal into the next, walking further into your path of your destiny, reclaiming your sovereignty, your power, your divinity as the role as a creator of your reality, taking radical responsibility for your actions and the ways in which you can continue to improve. We all can do it. We all can do it. Taurus, house number 2, may you continue to move moment to moment in alignment with your values to your core. To your core. Flowing forward. Thank you, house number 2. We're going to keep this energy moving this evening. Do I have any Taurus in the house? If you dug that reading, go ahead and drop me a bull down there. Maybe Mother Earth, Mother Boomy, or whatever emoji that you see to resonate with Taurus energy. We keep it flowing. We keep it flowing. Next is house number 3. Yeah, I'm flowing, Rainbow. I know. Appreciate that. I'm in the zone. House number 3. Breath of life. Gemini energy. Gemini is all about communication. Air. We flow forward. Mutable air. Mags, if you'd like a reading, you can come back for next live stream. We will be doing one-on-one personal readings after this. Right now, we are doing 12 readings for all 12 houses. Starting now, Gemini. House number 3. Sun. Moon, ascendants, wherever you have a 3rd house placement, wherever you have Mercury. Gemini is the ruler of communication, the mind, mental energy. Yes, where are you placing your consciousness? What is the message this evening for the collective? House number 3. Let's do this. We cut it, we clear it, we let it rest. Gemini, sun, moon, ascendant. Communication, mental energy, breath. And for you tonight, house number 3. Outstanding. Very important message here on the table. Gemini, here we have completion. Right side up in the Zen Osho Tarot. The only one that's right side up from this deck. Aloneness here in reverse. Beyond illusion here in the root, also reverse. The Thoth Tarot brings in 7 of Pentacles, Lord of Failure. I feel like this is a very real message for Gemini, reminding us how, well, first I'm getting this energy that we're completing a chapter, and perhaps it might seem like a loss, a failure. However, I'm receiving this energy, as always, it's a blessing in disguise. And this is where it's so important for us to take a bird's eye, take a step back so we can see beyond the illusion. Perhaps a relationship is coming to close. Perhaps one is being called to return to one's own personal energy and step deeper into one's relationship with self, where this aloneness card in reverse is coming from, reminding oneself that even if you choose to burn these bridges that are no longer serving thee, even if you choose to go in hermit mode for a while, you're not going to be alone, because you will always have the support of the world within and around you in the divine, especially as you step deeper into your connection, conversation, and relationship with these more etheric, energetic bodies and beings. Ultimately, failure is an illusion. We have won. We are always winning. When we recognize that we are one and everything is connected, we can step deeper into this frequency to be here in the embodiment, the energy of victory. This is what it means to be one. You have won. Failure is not an option. It's not an option. It's not an option. It doesn't even exist. Ultimately, it's a limiting belief, if you ask me. As long as we're learning, we can't necessarily fail, and as long as we're evolving and adapting, we're growing. We're not going to fail either. You win some and you learn some. I don't believe in losing. I believe that as long as we are learning, we don't lose anything. In fact, we're still gaining from the experience, and this is where it's so important to let these cycles reach completion, because if we try to save something, we try to continuously keep something alive, like forcing it rather than like force feeding it rather than allowing it to complete in its own natural fashion. This is where we perpetuate these cycles and feel like failure, because it's like, as Einstein said, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is insanity. And this is where it's so important for us to, like, okay, accept when something has completed. Otherwise, we're just going to like be poking a dead horse or trying to revive a dead plant. It doesn't actually work. And this is where it's so important to accept loss and to let things become completion. And when we can make friends with this aspect of our journey, everything becomes so much more free. We can step further into our process and path of liberation, because these attachments and these bindings are what keep us stuck. But when we free ourselves from these bindings, this is when we allow ourselves to step deeper into the grand mystery. We see beyond the illusion and recognize that it's all happening according to the divine plan, ultimately. Thanks, Gemini. House number 3. It's all about perspective at the end of the day, where you're placing your mental energy. May you continue to see through the illusion of the failures and the aloneness, and allow yourself to embrace completion with a big hug. We're going to keep it flowing. Thanks, Carly. Straight bars out here tonight. Appreciate you, Gemini. If you dug that message, go ahead and drop me a 3 down there, or any of the wings or birds or emojis that remind you of Gemini energy. We keep this flowing. Before we flow to house number 4, I want to let y'all know that on Sunday, February 11th, this upcoming Sunday, we'll be having class. It's called Tarot 101, where I'll be teaching these cards, the language of the tarot, the major arcana, the minor arcana, the elements, the numerology, where the tarot comes from, why we still use it today, how you can read for yourself, how you can read for others, so much more. It's going to be a 75 minutes to a 90-minute long digital course. We'll be meeting on Zoom. We can really dive deep into these cards, answer any questions, and connect in our own container. If that is something of interest to you, and you'd like to learn more about these, you can find that information. You can join class this upcoming Sunday, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, through the link in my site. We're going to keep it flowing. Right now, this recording is going to be up tomorrow on my YouTube. We're going to keep it flowing right now for you, my dudes. House number 4 on the way. Do we have any Cancer in the house? Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendants. House number 4, the home. Yes, initiation of psychic energy. Fixed water. Cancer Sun's in the house. I see y'all. Cancer is ruled by the moon, so if you have a Cancer moon, it's double on the water energy. Any message, any clarity, signs, or synchronicities for the 4th house this evening? How we are building our home for the message, for the collective. Let's do this. Get an extra card tonight. I love it. This is so real. Fantastic. First, some water for my Cancers. Y'all stay hydrated now. Let's do this. Thunderbolt. Right side up. House number 4. The Tower card, or the Thunderbolt card here in this deck. Ordinariness here. 8 of Wands. the rebel here, or the emperor in the other tarot, the rebel. Thunderbolt, ordinariness, projections here. Projections. The Prince of Wands for the collective from the Thoth Tarot. Prince of Wands. I'm loving this card right now. I'm loving this entire reading for house number 4. I'm loving this for you, Cancer. This is what it means to build a home within and wherever you go. For we live in a world, in a system, a society that does its best to destroy the home of the individual. Just flat out. I don't think it looks heavy at all. I think this is stepping into one's power and taking responsibility for the ways in which we show up into the world, because you, my friend, have the capacity to control the weather. You can make these thunderbolts move to your will if you wish to, and it's normal. That's ordinary. That's your base, deserving frequency. We are all psychic, supernatural, and have powers and abilities. When we learn how to cultivate these, this is when we're stepping into our rebellious tendency, and we're learning how to claim our fire, step deeper into our Prince of Wands energy. This is where it's reminded that we're always projecting. We are always projecting. It's so important to become clear in our projections, though. We're always receiving, we are always projection. We are always projecting. We all have a yin side, receiving, being receptive. We all have a yang side, projecting, being exertive, expressing. It's like, where are you projecting? Why are you projecting what you're projecting? Where does this projection come from? And this is where it's so important, because someone who is in their alpha state, someone whose like frequency is like most in alignment with truth, that projection is going to hold the container, and every other projection is going to bend to and attune to. It's kind of like when you're in your power, you're in the seat of the first chair of the orchestra, and you're like the violinist. You ever seen a orchestra before? When you go see a performance, the violinist stands up in the first chair. They tune in front of everybody. Everybody tunes to them. That's you when you're stepping into your power. This is ordinary. This is rebellious, because we're taught to tune to the school system. We're taught to attune to the church. We're taught to attune to the government, the state. But no, we're here to tune to our own soul. This is what it means to be composed. So you can be the composer of your reality, and then you can navigate and create harmony, so you can live in this musical that we call life, doing your best to sing your song from your heart. This is what it means to like anchor into that Prince of Wands energy. And when you feel at home, house number 4, in your skin, you can do this wherever you go. Home is not a place outside of you. It's a home. It's a place within you. And when we claim our home within, this is a rebellious tendency within itself, because we're taught so deeply to think that our external reality is more real than our internal. But ultimately, if you ask me, I would say the internal is even more real than our external, because our internal reality influences our external reality. Our external reality can influence our internal reality as well, vice versa. This is where I'm coming back to that whole projections thing. Is your internal reality influencing the world around you, or you being influenced by the world around you? You have a choice at the end of the day. Not saying that you want to go be an influencer, not saying that you want to go and tell people what to do, just saying that when you live in your truth, you're going to start being inspiring, and people are going to be turned on. They're going to be like, whoa, I didn't realize that I could do that. That's giving me liberation just by seeing them express themselves in their liberation. And this is ordinary. This is Age of Aquarius. This is where we're creating this base frequency space where everybody can step into their power, in their royalty, their regalness, their divinity. We all have this potential within us. It's just if we're willing and ready and open to, not even ready, but if we're willing to take the necessary actions and humble ourselves, be ready to learn, be open to learning, be open to evolving, and committing to this path of choosing the self and cultivating the home within. Yes. All right. Where are you projecting? Where are these projections coming from? Why do you project what you project? Are you allowing others' projections to influence your own personal perception? Questions. House number 4. Just asking for a friend. We're going to keep it flowing. Thank you indeed. What a vibey reading. 4K up there on the likes. Appreciate y'all dearly. If you dug that, go ahead and drop me any, maybe a moon emoji or a crab or the Cancer, any ones, or number 4 down there, 4444, anything that's you're digging for, my Cancer friends. You're welcome, Lily. Let's do this. De nada, my friend. Let's keep this going. House number 5 tonight. Leo, Sun, Moon, Ascendants. Leo, house number 5. It's all about the light, the expression. It's about desire. It's about romance. It's about the ego as well. Yes, Leo is ruled by the Sun. So Leo, Sun, you're extra sunny, bright being. For all my Libras in the house this evening, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, wherever you may have fifth house placements. Let's do this. Clarity, direction for the collective. feel like this is kind of calling the Leo out, but not in a bad way. It's just like this is very much like bringing balance to the 5th house energy. So we have the Hangman here first and foremost. The Hangman. We have the Trust card here in the draw. Inner voice here for you, my dudes. 2 of Cups. Excuse me, that's actually the High Priestess. 2. Major Arcana. 3. Guidance. 3 of Wands. Reverse. In the root. Leo is very much, the 5th house is about expressive, external, like the light that the sun casts onto the world around us. Right now, this is tapping into that solar plexus energy, the light within, learning how to channel and find our light within so that we can then express it, and trusting the process. That's exactly what we're here to do, to speak our truth, to find that courage, to utilize our inner voice and live from this space. That inner light, that is your inner guide, and that's going to bring you everywhere you go. 5th house, Leo is a very good example from at least my personal experience. Most every Leo that I've met just does that naturally. They just live their life unapologetically, expressing themselves, just because they're not too concerned about being perceived. They're just unapologetically shining their light, just like the sun does ultimately. And this is where it's so important for us to like recognize that like that ultimately stems from their light within too. Some people just do it naturally, not even recognizing that they're doing it. But the more we can bring consciousness, awareness, and intention to this process, the brighter, more direct, and more clear this becomes. This is where the Hangman is so crucial. He's like reminding us the importance of the perspective, learning how to see every little detail in all of it so we can move as meticulous, as intentional as we possibly can, and trusting that Spirit has brought us here for this purpose, for this reason. Yes, we would not be born this if we did not have this capacity. Universe, Spirit, God never gives us anything that we're not capable of handling. It's so important that we trust in that guidance and we listen to that inner voice. Otherwise, here's the thing. There's what I'm saying, there's no otherwise. The voice of fear is so freaking loud. The voice of the inner voice is strong, soft, and very silent for the most part. This is where it's so important to learn the discernment. The fear is going to be that rational, logical mind. Oh, but this, and that. You need to have these reasons in order to have this proof and evidence in order for this to be real. Faith is that subtle feeling within your heart, like, I don't know why I feel this, but something within me tells me that this is the right thing to do, so I'm going to do it. And when you do that, dude, all the greatest things occur, because it's always much more than what we can imagine, and all the limiting beliefs that are attempting to keep us stuck in these little boxes. And this is where it's so important to trust the process and continue to cultivate our inner voice as well. Searching for courage to speak up for my emotions is hard. Yeah, no one said it was going to be easy, Lynn. No, you have it, and it's important that you do this work. It's so crucial and necessary. Absolutely, it's essential, and it's only going to make things all the better, because when we aren't speaking from that space, we aren't honoring our truth, and that's how a lot of energy can get bogged up and lead to miscommunication and conflict. And this is where it's so important to practice that faith, and to practice that vulnerability, allow ourselves to open ourselves up. Ultimately, 100%. Fear is a coward. Fear is a coward. Nature favors the brave. You're not a coward. Fear is a coward. Exactly like the lion. We're going to keep it flowing. Up next tonight, we have house number 6, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, where we have a Virgo placement. Ruled by Mercury. If Gemini is our thoughts and our communication with our words, Virgo is our communication with our body language, the embodiment of our communication. House number 6 is about our work. So house number 5 is about our desires. House number 6 is the work required to actualize these. House number 6, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Ascendants, wherever you have these placements for you, my friends. You got a Virgo stellium, Venus, Mercury, North Node, and Sun. So fun. We're basically like opposite. Virgo in the house. We got some strong cards to start off. House number 6. I love this. We're going to start with this guy, number 13 here. Death for Virgo. And we have the experiencing card here right side up. Perhaps this is a transition occurring for house number 6, or the work is to lean into the transition. We have We Are the World here. I love this deck so much. We have We Are the World here. Reversed. Nothingness here. Reversed in the root. Virgo, for you, my friends, I'm seeing this immense shift in the perception of life in the world itself. Stepping deeper into one's embodiment and knowing that you are the world exists just within you, as much within you as it does without you, and how you are the world and have such a prominent role in this world. Though ultimately nothing is real, everything is illusory. Ultimately, the more we can find the balance, not get attached to that physical expression, the material definition of the world, but finding the balance of that nothingness within, this is where I'm getting this death. It's like this loosening of definition of what the world even means, looks like, in one's relationship with the void, the darkness, and nothingness, and no longer feeling fear from that. I'm getting a big energy right now, is recognizing that it's very natural, considering that Virgo being mutable earth, it's like about the embodiment, it's about the work that we're here to do in this real world. Though I think from my own personal perception, relationships with Virgos, it's so essential to invite in that 12th house Piscean energy, because it's so easy to get stuck in this material reality, to get take all of this as real, take it super personally. The Pisces, the more detached, bird's eye view, dream realm, is a very important part in the transition of this space. And so this is where I'm getting that this death is playing out, and the experiencing is the evolution and expansion of one's definitions and one's capacity to see reality in all of its facets, rather than just one specific fashion. It's very uncomfortable, and it's really important though that we lean into this, because I feel like this is a catalyst for the evolution of the 6th house, the work that one does, and that they came here to share with the world, ultimately. Indeed. Yeah, leaning into the resistance is crucial. It's absolutely necessary. Instead of resisting the resistance, we embrace it, we lean into it. It's for personally, doing yoga, if you haven't stretched in a long time and you feel oh god, I rusted my bones, instead of just stopping stretching because it's uncomfy and it kind of hurts, but it's not a bad kind of pain, you lean into it and you press even further into it. You press into that pain, you breathe alongside it, because this is actually helping me remove all this stagnant, stuck energy that's calcifying my being. I need to move this, and so that's kind of the energy we're getting, experiencing. It's the death of the decay. It's the death of the decay and the clearing of this stagnant energy. Breathe into it. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Sierra, go stretch right now while we're talking. What's stopping you? You can put your phone down and stretch while I'm saying it. Exactly. Somatic exercises are essential. Not sure what just happened. Probably one of the dogs. Cheer coach would always tell us that a kind of pain is good for us. It really is. Absolutely. I don't think it was Luna. I think she was laying down outside of my door. I think she was scared. Nonetheless, we keep it flowing. Thank you, house number 6. If you dug that reading, go ahead and drop me any emojis or number 6s that you dig with the Virgo placement. I'm going to keep it flowing for house number 7. Libra tonight. Libra sun, moon, ascendants, ruled by Venus as well. If Taurus is Venus, love for the self, the values, the heart, the core. Libra, house number 7, is love for each other, our friends. Libra is all about connection, relationship, balance. It's 11:11 out here in the Midwest. Libra Sun, Moon, risings, Venus placements, wherever you got it. Sierra's got some strong Libra in the house. All about the balance, all about the connection. Here for you, my friends. We're going to cut this deck, clear it, we'll let it rest. Ooh, ooh. That was like half the deck. We're going to shuffle it once more. Before we read for Libra this evening, I do want to remind y'all that on Sunday, February 11th, we will be having Tarot 101, an introductory course by yours truly, where we will be sharing the language of the tarot, teaching these cards, how to dive deeper into them. If that's something of interest to you, you can find more insight on my site, where it says Tarot 101. Right now for Libra, house number 7, we have the Outsider, reversed. Experiencing, right side up. The source here, and the root for you, house number 7. Yahweh, Heather, Yahweh. You can find the link and more info about it on my site. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We have the Ace of Pentacles here for house number 7, reverse as well. To me, this is energy of receiving. I feel like Libras play a lot of main support roles. I feel like they are like very strong best friend energy, helping like the main character a lot. Not to say that Libras can't be main characters at all, not in any way, shape, or form saying that, but saying that like a lot of it is like choosing to support rather than lean into the main character energy. And right now I'm receiving, it's time to balance the scales, pun intended. It's time to start receiving that support, because like the source wants to shine upon you. You just got to go outside and open up to the light. Like maybe you're experiencing some levels of shifts right now in your dynamics and your relationships and your connections with the Outsider here and the Ace of Pentacles both being in reverse. Maybe it's like this like foreign space for Libra, because Libra is so good and tuned to connection. Being an outsider can be very uncomfy, I mean, for anybody ultimately, but like it's really nice to be in those spaces as well, because they give us a fresh perception of ourselves, where we are in our current state of life, and how we want to continue to navigate our reality. So this is where it's like so crucial that we have those like ebbs and flows, and right now it's like, yeah, necessary to let the light shine the path, basically. Like this outsider energy, because I want to take a note of this dude. He looks like he's locked, right? But that lock is unlocked. There's actually nothing holding him back except for himself. It's kind of like the Pavlov experiments. You know those ones? The dogs, and how they got like shocked whenever they like left the crate. And they were conditioned to then like not leave the cage, because they thought that every single time they'd leave the cage they would get shocked. That's like a lot of us leaving cycles of trauma. Bro, I'm being real. This is dead ass. There's a reason why we're taught this stuff in psychology class. They just don't teach you that part. Because Pavlov's, okay, if you don't know you don't know what Pavlov's dog is. So he did a couple experiments that were really cruel on animals, trying to test their willpower and their psyche and what motivated them. It was like trying to like brainwash people to control them better. They don't tell you that part in psychology class. But think about it. Just think about it. Why would he be doing this shit? So he put these dogs in a cage, then he put like an electric floor on outside the cage. He opened the door from the cage, so every single time the dogs would step out of the cage, they would get shocked from that electric floor, so they only wanted to go back into the cage. They did this, multiple times. Put the dogs in the cage, open the door, dogs go out, get electrocuted, fuck, go back inside. They don't want to go back, they don't want to get electrocuted. So one day he's like, well, what if we just don't turn the electricity on, but we open the door anyway? So they open the door, they don't turn on the electricity. All of the dogs stay in the cage because they think that if they go out of the cage, they're going to get shocked. That's basically what's happening right now. The electricity has been turned off. The people can't step out of the cage. They're just terrified because of what they had experienced from the past, but we've experienced so many immense shifts, but the mainstream narrative is going to continuously tell you that the electricity is on. It's not. Thanks, Libra. What an epic reading. What an epic, epic reading. That was very, very important. Not just America. Modern society. Christian capitalistic structure. This isn't my sign, but I resonate with that message so deeply. Absolutely. Heck yeah, Ari. Good to see you, dude. Most people only know who the bell knows the bell, the salivate one. Yeah, that one too. Also very important to be aware of, but this electric one, that's even more important, I think. You need to hear that literally in a new city. Oh yeah. Who gives a fuck, Sierra? Honestly, let them eat your butt. Unless they don't do so with kindness. Epic, love this for Libra. If you dug that message, go ahead and drop me. Go ahead and drop me. You wanna go ahead and just mute them? Drop me the balance emoji. If you resonate with house number 7, you can drop me some 777s, the balance, or any other emojis that remind you of Libra. We're gonna keep this energy flowing for you, my friends. House number 8, on the way. House number 8 today. House number 8 is ruled by Scorpio. Scorpio sun, moon ascendants, the planet Pluto. This is death, this is transformation, this is depths and darkness. This is also purest essence in the primordial space. Scorpio in the house today. Number 8. Let's do this. Any messages, clarity, signs, or synchronicities, direction, the messages for the collective for house number 8. Do we have any Scorpios in the house today? Beautiful. Very gentle reading for Scorpio, this energy, which I feel like is a breath of fresh air. In the root here, we have Beyond Illusion. Scorpios in the house, I see y'all. Beyond Illusion here in the root. Slowing down here, right side up in the draw. And going with the flow here in reverse for you, Scorpio. Prince, or Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups reverse as well. This goes very hand in hand, and Scorpio, I'm going to teach you something from my strong Pisces placements. You know, Scorpio, because I know it. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's no ego. You know, if you're open to learning, if you want some insight from another water to another water, going with the flow is crucial. Pisces actually goes with the flow too much. Scorpio, it's challenging for them to go with the flow because they're fixed water. They're like a pool. They're like the water at the depth of the ocean. You know, when you're at the bottom of the ocean, it's more difficult to flow because, you know, water flow occurs when, you know, the temperature changes or when there's wind happening, right? At the bottom of the ocean, the temperature is pretty generally the same, so I'm going to guess it's not moving as much down there, right? That's Scorpio energy, bottom of the ocean, Mariana's Trench. I got a Scorpio rising as well, though, so that helps me get that moving, because the rising is all about action, right? And this is where it's so important to see beyond the illusion and not to validate ourselves in the physical material movement, slowing down and asking, how am I doing what I'm doing, rather than being so focused on being so concerned about what I am doing. Ultimately, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And this is where it's so important that we slow down, because you could be doing something that's amazing, but you could do it with a shitty attitude, so you're not going to actually experience the amazingness of it. You could do something that's really tough, but you could do it with a very positive attitude, so it's actually a really good thing that's happening. This is where it's so important to see beyond the illusion and recognize it's not what we do, it's how we do it, to see beyond the form and more so tap into the frequency. And this is where going with the flow is crucial, because when we get stagnant, when we get stuck, you know what happens when water stays in one place for too long? It gets funky, and not in a fun kind of way. And this is where the Knight of Cups is also reminding us to kind of get that energy moving. And so I'm receiving this energy of stirring the pot a little bit, rocking the boat a little bit, boiling the water a little bit, just so you can start increasing the energy, but also slowing down at the same time. It's kind of ironic. It's really This is what it means to be in the flow state, to go with the flow. It's like even when you're operating at a very high frequency, you can still be going slow. And this is what Godspeed is all about, moving so fast that you appear still. And this is how life is happening. We don't recognize it. Everything is always moving, even these walls. And if you could see them breathe, you'd also be just as amazed as when you you take a good breath of fresh air. Like everything is always moving, but when we become limited and blocked and we just become too rigid in our perception, when we're no longer going with the flow, then we're not honoring the natural movement of life. And this is where it's so important to do the daily practice to help us slow down, so that we can then learn how to channel our flow from this awareness. Yes, house number 8. And it all begins with the breath. Absolutely. Do not forget to breathe. Remember to check in, to slow down, and allow yourself to ask, how am I feeling and where are these feelings coming from? How do I want to feel? Shouts out, house number 888. Thank you, Scorpio, for you today. Yes, energy is absolutely everything. We're going to keep it moving with number 9 tonight. Sagittarius, sun, moon, ascendants for you this evening, Sagittarius. If you dug that reading, go ahead and drop me any emojis that you dig that remind you of Scorpio. Yes, to go with the flow, it goes against the logic. That's exactly right. You're to be a koi fish to swim up the stream. That's how you become a dragon, baby. And we keep it flowing. Merrily, 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 life is but a stream. Next, Sagittarius tonight. Sun, moon, ascendants. Sagittarius, house number 9, ruled by Jupiter. All about divine guidance, wisdom, insight, expansion, evolution. For you, my friends. Mutable fire, Sagittarius. We cut it, we clear it, we let it rest. Do I have any Sag in the house tonight? For you, my dudes. Sagittarius, house number 9. Real. I like this. Let's get right to it. Only one card on the table right side up today, which sometimes is a theme. It hasn't been prominent today, but the message is clear. Conditioning. The only one right side up for house number 9, my friends. Katie's a Sag sun, whole family is Sag moons. So funny. Sag rising, epic, everybody. We got conditioning here, right side up. Very prominent card on the table. Everything else reverse. We have the comparison card here. 5 of Swords. Comparison. We also have the 5 of Swords here in the Thoth Tarot, also in reverse. Lord of Defeat in this deck. Lord of Comparison in this deck. The Fool reverse here for you, my friends. I know, right? Tough. This is like that Saturn belt that's attempting to keep Jupiter from expanding. And this is where it's like very much the breakthrough energy and the unlearning of all the conditioning and how those keep us in these states of defeat and the fear of comparison and the need for validation, the need for proof, the need for anything that's stopping us from stepping into our role as the Fool in the journey. This is where it really begins, is the unconditioning first. I think that's something people oftentimes forget. We have so much work to unlearn before we can really start learning, because we're just infiltrated from the get-go with brainwashing, patterns, programs, conditionings, perceptions, ways of being from a society that either unconsciously or consciously is filling our heads with nonsense. And that's what all this conditioning is. And it's like the more we can like unlearn all this stuff, like stop comparing ourselves to each other, like recognizing that we are all divine, we are all unique, we all have the capacity to lead destiny, live in destiny. This is where we can all continue to step into the Fool, working on being the unfooled. if anything, I'm receiving this energy of stepping into the Fool, of integrating this and calling upon this, because the Fool is someone who moves forward regardless of the conditioning. Like, the Fool is someone who's like Goku, someone who's like Finn the Human, someone who's like Dora the Explorer, someone who's like Winnie the Pooh, someone who's like ready to just go on an adventure and do the thing. Like, not necessarily, Winnie the Pooh isn't always the best example because he can be pretty like self-conscious at times. But it's like main character energy, someone who's like going on an adventure, going on a journey, someone who's learning the lessons, someone who's embarking on their soul's journey, their destiny. Tigger could definitely be a Fool energy, but when he's main character, for sure. But it's like that. It's like the like Harry Potter could be seen as a Fool, but it's like also anybody who's like ready to take the leap, who's ready to jump into the journey. Moving to Greece in a year solo, that's epic, Vanessa. Sounds super fun. Definitely takes great strength in order to tap into your role as the Fool. But ultimately, over everything, it's the faith, and it's the fun, and it's learning that, like, yo, I came here for a reason. Like, Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece is a perfect example of the Fool. I'm going to be the king of pirates. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care, like, how people think about me. Like, I don't care if I'm not a bad person. Like, that's another thing, because everyone thinks that pirates are evil, bad people. And then Monkey D. Luffy is, like, this very pure soul. And he's like, I'm going to be the king of all these pirates. And it's because that I'm a pure soul, not because I'm evil. And it's like, I think that's freaking awesome. Very foolish energy, but also amazing, because like he's not comparing himself to anybody else. He's just like showing up for the endeavors. But if he was like worried about how other people projected their fears, their limiting beliefs onto him, then he would never take the steps. This is where it's so important that we just like block out. We create barriers, we create boundaries for ourselves that completely like a ring of fire around oneself that will just burn any energies that are not in resonance with who you are becoming, what it is that you wish to do. So crucial and necessary, and the conditioning runs so freaking deep, and this is where it's so important that we continue to ask ourselves and reflect, what am I believing, what am I holding on to, what stories am I telling myself on a consistent basis. And this is where that Sagittarius energy steps in, the expansion of our limiting beliefs, the redefining of our own personal perceptions of our reality, rather than just allowing society to brainwash us and be like, hey, put these on, blinders, like a horse not being able to see what's going on around it. Like, no, you're here to take off those blinders, you're here to walk forward. Same thing with what we were sharing just a moment ago with the Pavlov and the dogs and the electric floor. Like, that's what this all comes back to, is like being afraid to step into one's purpose, one's destiny, one's power, because of the conditioning, because of all the mental programming and the worries. Oh, but what if it doesn't play out? So at least I tried. I got to a point I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't. It's just like, at least I tried. That's what matters most. If it didn't, at least I don't have any regret. But what if it doesn't matter? We can always learn, we can always rebound, we can always learn from those lessons, like I said, once again, and then we evolve, we expand from that space. And so this is where it's so important to recognize, like, being a victor, being a winner is all about your mentality and nothing about your accolades. Yes, everything does happen for a reason, and ultimately we get to choose that reason too. I think trials and tribulations, they all can be teachers, 100%. And what if it does? Exactly, Michelle. Tell them. Exactly. That's the real thing. What if it does work out? What if it's going to be even better than you could ever imagine? Scary, sure, but all the greatest things are on the opposite side of fear. 100%. Thank you, Sagittarius. Very important message. I love it, house number 9. We're keep it flowing tonight. Keep this energy moving. Indeed. It's truth. Absolutely. Superpower. Positivity is a superpower. Next, we have house number 10, Capricorn. But before we read for Capricorn, I do want to let y'all know that this Sunday, February 11th, 9 p.m. Midwest, Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, West Coast, we will be having Tarot 101, which is an introductory course talking about the cards, going into the language of the tarot, where it comes from, why it's still here, the major arcana, the minor arcana. Yes. How to learn the cards, how to read for others, how to read for yourself, and so much more, whether you've been reading for 10 days or 10 years. I'd love to see you there. If you want to find more info about that on my site, you can get that in my bio. Yes, I think 7 o'clock Colorado time, if that's mountain time, I'm not mistaken. Yes. If you'd like to check out the more info, you can find it over there. Oh yeah, Super Tarot Sunday. I completely forgot about Nice. Yeah, Super Tarot. Indeed. It'll be a blast. Would love to see you there. If you have any questions, holler at me. Otherwise, we're going to keep it flowing. Epic indeed. House number 10. House number 10. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Ascendants. Wherever you have a Saturn placement. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. This is the foundation, the legacy. Reputation. This is also the ruler of time. And structure. And form. Yes. I think you might be able to have subtitles. I think there is a way to go about that on your, if you click settings or something. I know there is a way. I don't know if I can do it on mine, but I think you can do it on yours. Capricorn. Sun, Moon, Ascendants. Tell your friend to listen up. We got a message for you today. House number 10. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Ascendants. Wherever you may be, wherever you got a Saturn placement. Let's do this. We're going to cut the deck. We'll clear it. We'll let it rest. We'll keep it flowing tonight. For all my Capricorn friends in the house today, wherever you have a 10th house placement. Solid. Solid. Really mixed energy on the table. Curious. We have the isolation card here. Capricorn ruled by the goat. That's right. Number 3. Isolation. Control here. Compromise. Reverse in the root. Capricorn for you. We have the lovers. We have the lovers. We have the lovers. And the Thoth Tarot. This is such a prominent card on the table. For we live in a society that has extremely terrible examples of what Capricorn energy looks like. We like Capricorn is about boundaries, is about holding space. It is not about control. It is not about isolation. Though this is what we have seen in the society in which we live. This is like very demonic depiction of Capricorn energy. This is one of the reasons why the devil is seen. Thus, the devil is the Capricorn card in the tarot, because it's like this control over the population, the attempt to siphon your soul so that you can create a society that doesn't actually want to support you. But we are the lovers and we are the last of our kind. So lift your head up. Yes. And I swear that we'll be fine. For this is where it's so essential that by choosing your love for your life, for yourself, not compromising your integrity, not allowing yourself to be controlled, not allowing yourself to be separated, because this is where the isolation comes into play. Society does its best to keep us all separated. It's like, hey, I'm gonna give you all these phones, you can be all in your own houses, but hey, you're not allowed to stand 6 feet apart from each other, okay? Yeah, nope, you're not allowed to breathe the same air, okay? We gotta keep you all apart because you're much easier to control when you're all isolated, okay? The government sees us as cattle, you know that, right? The government, like the US government, in the definition, sees the human vessel as chattel, as its own property of animals that it's meant to hoard and move into various lines, right? It wants to control you. It wants to keep you isolated. It wants to keep your blinders on and not want you to think for yourself. Coming back into what we were talking about with the Pavlov's dog, this is where it's so important. Choosing the path of love. Choosing the path of love and not compromising your integrity will allow you to go further than anything. This is literally what we are here for. This world needs love now more than ever. Love grows. Love wins time and time and time and again. Love is the essence of life, and now we are here to reclaim what that means, not in a way that has been compromised, because the ways in which we've been taught love are extremely limiting, myopic, and full of attachment. True love is liberation. True love has nothing to do with ownership. That which you love, you are to set free, and that which loves you the same. This is where it's so important to recognize that love is to encourage, complement, and promote liberation and knowingness. To love somebody is to get to know somebody. Love and fear are opposite. Where there is love, there cannot be fear. When we start to learn about something, we no longer fear it. It no longer has that power over us. When we are projecting love into the space, when we are projecting the wanting to learn about something, we are reclaiming our power and we're taking away the fear. This is where it takes immense resilience, persistence, devotion, dedication, discipline in the process of attuning to the frequency of love. Literally everything that we do in our life can be a practice of self-love. I eat healthy food because I love myself. I listen to good music because I love myself. I make sure I get some good quality sunlight because I love myself. I make sure I get some good quality sunlight because I love myself. I put my feet on the earth because I love myself. I hang out with supportive people because I love myself. I give it all to God because I love myself. I do not compromise my values, my integrity, and my beliefs because I love myself. I lean into letting go of control because I love myself. I get out of this need for isolation. I step into socialization because I love myself. It's so crucial. It's so necessary. And this is what we are learning. And this is how we reclaim a healthy expression of 10th house energy, Capricorn, so we can not demonize the devil, but instead learn that we all have dense demonic potential and we all have angelic ascension potential. And it's really, at the end of the day, what you choose. Groovy, my dudes. Let's keep flowing. Thanks, Capricorn. House number 10. Up next, number 11 for you tonight. If you dug that reading, go ahead and drop me an X down there. Number 10. Yes. Indeed. Ascension potential. Yeah, that one just came to me. I like that. Very groovy. Any Capricorn emojis or an X down there for number 10 this evening. I love to see it. We're here for it. We're going to keep it flowing with number 11. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant. 101. No. 11. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendants. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. It's all about the higher mind, the collective, how we're all connected, the space in between. Aquarius is the atmosphere, the energy that we breathe. Yes, any messages, any guidance, any words of wisdom for the collective for house number 11. Let's do this. The water bearer, of course. Fantastic. We are flowing. I love to see it. If you can hear me clearly, would you mind just clicking the screen a couple times? I think that we can make it to 15K there before. We're going to do readings tonight. Yes, Kitty. However, after this live stream, we are on Aquarius. We have Pisces next. We're going to close this live stream so I can save the recording, and then we're going to open up again for the queue. The queue is open right now, so if you want to make sure that you get a reading in the next live stream, probably like 20 minutes, you can jump into the queue by dropping the exchange. Right now, we're reading for house number 11. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendants. Epic. This is the theme. I love it when we start to get, like, once we pass, like, Virgo, we start to, like, expand into the collective and how everything is super connected. Vanessa, if you'd like a reading tonight, we have exchange of 3333. That is the donation. Zen the Alchemist is my Cash App, my Venmo. PayPal, Zelle is in my bio. There's also a link in my bio that says book now. We'll be sharing that in the next live stream as well. So if you want to come back for that one, if you want to follow, go do that. But otherwise, Courtney, I see you. You're going to be up first in the next live stream. I see your Cash App. I got it. You're going to be up first in the next live stream. Please make sure to come back. We'll be back on like within like 5 minutes between live streams. Aquarius. Once more. Control. Reverse. The Outsider. Another time tonight. And the Source. All cards we've seen today. Very prominent message building on the theme for the collective this evening. May your life be a Walden Pond dive. For we have Six of Swords, reverse, Lord of Science here for the collective. There is a science to connecting with your source, and very much Aquarius has this vision and this capacity by being the bridge of the earth and the celestial, learning how to be that tree that has the ability to root to the core and have its leaves reaching towards the heavens. actually having your roots in the heavens and you're having your leaves laying low. Yes, I love these cards because this is so important about the theme, and the lesson for the collective right now is freeing ourselves from this cage. It doesn't matter if you're perceived as an outsider. If you step outside of the cage and people are like, oh, that dude's an outsider, well, you're like, well, I don't give a fuck. At least I'm outside of this cage. Y'all are still stuck in fear inside the cage. There's a whole beautiful world out here. What are you talking about? There's a science to this. Every single day I'm going to continue to show up and I'm going to learn this. I'm going to continue to want to undo all these bindings of control. I'm going to continue to cultivate my own personal connection to the source within. I'm going to shine my light unapologetically because this is what makes me feel alive, and we're here to be alive, right? We're here to be alive, right? Like, come on now. If they want to like be all upset that you're being an outsider, that's their own prerogative, and you don't have the time and space for that. Don't let them try to convince you to go back into that cage. Good Lord, it doesn't matter how many dollars they put in that cage. I promise you. It doesn't matter what kind of food they put in there. It doesn't matter how many hot people they put in that cage. Do not go back into that cage, okay? It's not worth your time. Unless you're going back into that cage to free your family. Just in case we're clear on that one. And shouts out Harriet Tubman. Thank you, Aquarius. Because when we're connected to the source, like we're just like protected. We are safe. We are doing what we need to do. You learn them out, you don't go back. And it really depends, Michelle Lynn. It really depends on the context. Sometimes you gotta jump into that burning building in order to save your babies. You really can't care. Honestly though, it's like learning to care about the things that do truly matter, and the things that, and not caring about the things that don't matter, and recognizing like when we care too much and when we care too little. It's all a fine balance. And lately, just like, yeah, because oftentimes care can be confused with control, and that's like where another thing comes into place. So it's like doing it because it's the right thing to do, not because like we feel like we need, or it's like something of the ego. Yeah, no, it's giving it all to the source. It's just like, this is aligning with God's plan and like living accordingly as a divine instrument. Ultimately, the way I'm perceiving this this message, this reading, and it all plays out into the things that you do on a daily basis, moment to moment, like making your life. You are a scientist, and it's like, are you learning? Are you willing to do the work of research, exploration, and trying new things to see what works and what doesn't? Thanks, Aquarius. Such a bomb reading, yo. I really like this one. We keep it flowing. Last but not least, this evening we have Pisces, house number 12. This song in the background is Ghost in a Shell, SZA, and Phoebe Bridgers. Nice. You're welcome, Sierra. Did you stretch? Alright. Sun, Moon, Ascendant, Pisces, wherever you have Pisces placements, house number 12. This is all about the dream. This is all about the expanse, the imagination, that which cannot be defined. Pisces is the realm of belief. Indeed. For you, my friends, any Pisces in the house, Sun, Moon, Ascendants, wherever you have 12th house placement, any planets in Pisces for you, my friends. Let's do this. Last but not least, we do this indeed. All the cards in reverse for you tonight, Pisces. Except for one, actually. I misspoke. 3, we have creativity here. Right side up. Participation here, reverse. In the draw. Receptivity here. Reverse. Very prominent card on the table, especially for my Pisces friends. And someone who has 5 placements in Pisces, I can be a little biased in this realm. We have the Art card here in the Thoth Tarot. Pisces are extremely sensitive, extremely receptive, but it's so important to recognize, where are you being sensitive and what are you being receptive to, and are you taking other people's projections personally? Ultimately, you're here to participate, not to take shit personally. It's a very fine difference. You're here to be creative rather than be like fucking sad boy. If I'm just gonna be real, Pisces, I get it. You're sensitive, and it's really important. In fact, that's gonna be one of your greatest superpowers as you continue to learn how to work with it and make your art with it. That's really what we're getting into. 12th house, stepping into your creation. What is that? You're here to channel your imagination for your art and how you are to participate and honor your soul's mission, your life, your destiny, so you can honestly do what you came here to do. It's so important that you continue to work on being receptive. What wants you to close yourself off? What puts you into a space of survival mode, makes you feel like you have to protect yourself from the world? How can you continue to stay open in your heart? How can you continue to participate from a pure space? Of course, if something is not in resonance and it's not honoring you and your greatness and your divinity, you got to cut that from your life. That's essential. You don't need to like tolerate bullshit. But at the same time, it's like you don't have to give your power away either. And this is where it's so important to continue to cultivate one's seat within the center, the radical witness, the observer of one's reality, a daily practice, something that you can consistently return to and cultivate this presence. This is where your superpowers are going to come into play. Ultimately, this is how you step deeper into your role as the creator of your reality. We are all artists. We all have the ability to create, and this is what we came here to do. We are the creators. And Pisces, my friend, it's so easy for you to be in your own dreamy realm, not wanting to participate. And this is where some of the greatest lessons are occurring, is applying yourself, participating, showing up and engaging with life rather than trying to be out in this like disassociative realm. It's like being in this world but not of this world. You can disassociate and be here at the same time. It just takes practice. And there's an art form to that. Discipline is crucial. Absolutely. Putting the art on the back burner is, sometimes we have those seasons, but this, when we feel the calling to get it back going, it's so important. Life is art ultimately, and as we continue to show up into our presence, that's another thing. I was doing yoga earlier in the backyard, and I came to this down though, that there's a difference between showing up and showing off. So I was like, why haven't I actually lean deeper into my role as like being a yogi? Like I love asana, I love movement, I love health and well-being, but I never believed in myself to like be like a influencer in that realm or try to be like an Instagram yoga model, some shit like that. I never really understood, I never really wanted to do that. And I think a part of it is because I'm still like healing this relationship between showing up and showing off, and like recognizing that there's a difference. When you show up in your full power, you're not showing off, you're just doing the do. But when you're showing off, you're trying too hard. It's the difference between doing your best and faking it till you making it. When you fake it till you make it, this is when you're trying too hard. This is when you're showing off. When you are doing your best to do your best, this is when you're showing up. Because at least you're being humble. You're like, I'm not perfect, but at least I'm going to do my best. And that's a very fine line indicator that I think a lot of people don't ponder. Something I think about a lot, and it's been very like I said, I got strong Pisces placements. This reading is very much for me, just as much as for any other Pisces, anybody else who resonates with 12th house. To show up and to share your art and to be creative, because you came here to participate. You're not here to create just for yourself. You're here to create in a way that is to continue to create dominoes, ripples, as well as like just showing up from a pure space, knowing that you are worthy and you're just here to do your best. You're not here to show off or try to impress anybody. And if anybody has like negative perception of you because you're showing up in your truth, that's their own prerogative. That's not your fault. You don't have to, exactly, authenticity is key. You don't have to silence your light or dim yourself for anybody. So this is where it's just like so crucial. This reminder is essential. You don't give show off energy. Thanks, Kels. I appreciate that. It's something I've worked on a lot. I think when I was like in elementary school, I would want to show off to girls who I thought were cute. I would like climb on top of the playground. But as I got older, that never really stuck. I just started doing my thing. But it's still like finding that like fine little line of like feeling confident and recognizing I'm still allowed to show up even if I'm not showing off. And I think that's something I haven't allowed myself to do in a more public space, and something I'm feeling called personally to challenge myself to do so. So if you want to follow the journey, Instagram, YouTube, all the good things, you're more than welcome to do so. We're going to keep showing up. We're going to keep showing up. We're going to keep creating. We're going to keep participating. We're only just getting started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. So dope, my dudes. What a great. Heck yeah, Marissa. Of course you were. What a great reading tonight. Super stoked about it. Thank you, Pisces. House number 12. Fantastic. That concludes Tarot Tuesday tonight. I do want to let y'all know that Sunday, February 11th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we will be having Tarot 101, where we'll be diving into the cards, the language of the tarot, the major arcana, the minor arcana, the elements, how to read for yourself, how to read for friends. So much more. Where the tarot comes from, brief history, why we still use it today. So much more. If you want to find more info, you can get yourself admission at my site at zenthealchemist.com. We're going to close this live stream. This live stream will be recorded and uploaded to my YouTube tomorrow at Gavin the Body at youtube.com. You can find that also linked in my bio. If you found any value in this, you can express that by dropping a donation. Donation links are over there in my bio. Even $1 helps a lot. If you want a one-on-one reading outside of this live stream, you can book that on my site as well. Schedule's open over there. Has a couple of those today. Those were really, really good conversations. What else? There's a lot of fake accounts out there. I will never try to slide into your DMs and try to sell you a reading. All of them are fake. I promise you it ain't me. We're going to close this live stream. We're going to jump back in here probably like within 5 to 10 minutes. Going to go get some water, probably use the restroom, maybe eat a little snack. Then we're going to come back. We got the personal readings. Up first this evening will be Courtney. Courtney, drop the follow. Drop the notification bell. Check back in here around 9/12, depending on where you are in the world. And yeah, probably like 10 minutes or so. We'll be back in a moment. So yeah, thanks for a beautiful night, y'all. It's been so real. If it's your first time here, my name is Zen. It's good to see you once again. I hope you have a beautiful day. Whatever you get into, I'll see you next live stream. Godspeed.